I literally don't have shoes. I don't know why my, oh, up, that's why they're here. All right. Yeah. So I got a toe thing. You can see the one.
That's what I heard. That's why I.
Yeah. Let me bring my little chair out. So they started hospice day before yesterday.
That's what Trina and Kim were telling me.
Yeah, that's fun.
So what does that entail?
Well, they come to the house once a week, measure me, check, like my the Sutter Hospice there.
Sutter Hospice,
Yeah.
and they come. I'm gonna just take notes of that.
Yeah, they come once a week, and they have a whole team. I've already talked to a social worker, a chaplain, a manager, an enrollment person. I'm talked out. We've talked about final arrangements and how the worst sentence was, well, when it comes time, we need to know which family member to talk to about putting you in a facility. It was all I could do to keep from hanging up.
Right.
But I just rolled with it and told them I was pragmatic, and I just rolled over it. And then they left me an ungodly amount of drugs, okay, a prescription. They have a hospice drug they give you, okay?
Wow.
Yeah, it was shocking to me. And so I wouldn't fill the prescription, and then last night, I got the prescription yesterday, and last night my son sat outside my RV all night, did not know it. And I had forgotten that his best friend, when he was 15, overdosed and died on liquid methadone, and he confused liquid morphine with liquid methadone and Xanax. So they gave me a similar combination, liquid morphine and Ativan. And I showed my son, I said, I haven't opened them, I'm not going to open them.
So he was fearful that you might do the same?
He was worried, no, he wasn't worried about an OD. He was worried about just the combination of drugs and everything. Like
I would be worried about anybody knowing.
Right, that too. No, that too. So we agreed to not to throw it away. We agreed to put it in a very safe away place.
Good.
So that if I ever did really start to have intense immediate pain, I could show the next hospice people, because I'm firing these hospice people. I can just tell you that right now. I'm so uncomfortable with, I'm not there yet. I don't care if they say I'm there, the talk of facilities and giving me,
here's the thing though.
Between me and you, to give me Ativan, Haldol, and Haldol, a little bottle of it, Haldol, Ativan, and liquid morphine all at one time to someone who's that's just insane. That's those are all breath depressing drugs.
Right.
All those drugs depress your respiratory system. That's what he was worried about. He just was he just didn't know. He was just, and I said, okay, so you've been out. I got up about 4 o'clock this morning and saw him out there in his car, and I'm like, so how are you checking on me? He goes, no, I'm just here. And I'm like, all right, you should have told me that you felt this way. So we had a really long discussion, and we agreed I'd just fire hospice, and we're not there yet. Or maybe I'm not firing hospice, but I'm super not, I just need a car repair. I don't need all this. I don't need all this. I don't know what, and so they have some kind of fund when you first get into hospice, up to $500, and they want to hire a mobile mechanic just to get, because I'm about to be towed tomorrow. Well, yeah, but I don't know what that's going to do. Even if it's more than 500, I'm just stuck with an $500 estimate. I don't know what to do at this point. I'm not. I had the supervisor out here twice, Supervisor Gordon Marr.
Supervisor.
The supervisor, yeah.
And what happened there?
Okay, let me start all over. How all this went down. There was a hit and run accident. Okay, a bad one. The person flew through the air, landed face down. I have midwifery training from the 80s. I was not bothered by the blood. I called out all the homeless people, run over there with me, directed traffic, almost had to pull off one surfer EMT wannabe guy, because he was going to flip dude. He was just like, I'm going to flip him over. He's coughing, he's bleeding, he's got this much blood around him. He's gagged, he's in the best position he could be in, my opinion. Dude was trying to flip him over. I stopped, we as a group stopped him. Fire got there, guy was in intensive care. I saw the mom across the street, gave her my phone number. She was crying. I said, he's going to be all right. It wasn't that bad. It was terrible. He landed like that. So family called me. They wanted to know if it was like some gangbanger shooting thing. Guy just took off. Boom, 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 ran off. I got first 4 digits of the license plate.
Oh, so it was a shooting? It wasn't
a shooting.
Oh,
no.
It was a hit and run.
It was a hit and run.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were worried it was some kind of gangbanger thing,
Okay.
and so I just calmed them down, and I was like, the guy doesn't remember anything. So anyway, they find out that I'm about to be towed. They're out here, the whole thing's going on, and they end up calling a ex-supervisor, attorney, had a 3-way conference with her, was like talking to a machine gun. I don't know why I didn't go to law school. Okay. Next thing I know, I'm talking to an assistant DA named Lydia, who called the police department and stopped the immediate tow.
Okay.
And she's outraged at how she had herself had cancer at one point and, had a, so she's simpatico. But homeless patrol shows up. Okay, so I got this whole wonderful thing with these ladies going on. If I get towed, there was a lady here yesterday just immediately offered me the futon in her spare room.
Oh.
And I'm like, no, not where this is going. This has got to not go there.
Right.
I can't take, I literally cannot take this trauma. The hospice thing has knocked me for a loop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know how sick I am because I got doctor recommendation on Thursday afternoon. Saturday morning, I'm talking to a hospice worker.
And this is your doctor on Contra Costa?
Yeah, I think she's just trying to get rid of me. I really feel like that's what this is. I just feel like this is a slip and slide, and it's okay. I'm good with that, and I went through all the motions with hospice, and I'm not. I'm shocked by the drug combination. I'm shocked by the drug combination, and they also the other absolutely horrific thing was in the folder was a 12 pages calendar for your future visits. And I'm like, really? People are dying here. They don't need to see all the days they're not going to experience or whatever.
I mean, you look and seem really well. How are you feeling?
I feel horrible.
Do you?
I'm in a lot of pain.
Are you?
My walking is, I gauge my health by how far I can walk the blocks before the pain between my shoulder blades starts to just fire. And it feels like someone sets a fire off in it, and it'll start just really. So I'm losing walking. I'm only able to go a block before it starts hurting. Whereas when I first got here, I was walking 4 blocks before it started hurting. So I'm literally measuring my capacity that way. I'm just not. But people don't really feel like they're dying too either, because my husband was alert the last day. He was, talking. He fussed at me about something. He was getting up, moving around, and it shocked me that he just up and died. It still did, And he'd been sick. Yeah, he'd had cancer for a long time. He was on the transplant list, so we were really aware of his decline. So I'm not, and my kids sitting out there last night really kind of shook me up too. Because see, I've been going at this thing for such a long time with the city trying to get the repairs. All I'm focused on is staying in here.
Right.
And my mental.
Right.
I know I have cancer. I know it hasn't been treated for whatever reasons. And I've got no blame game going. All I care about is my ability to keep my sanity by convincing myself I'm still a married woman in this house.
Right. I know that.
Okay. So it's not it's just that.
Yep.
It's nothing else. It's not any. Well, no, that's not true. Everybody wants me to start a revolution. Everybody wants me to be doing, and you can see it. They'll walk right up to you. Oh, you're the leader. I almost hit you if you call me that one more time. No leading, no nothing. I'm very aware of, and I put my book out. I
remember you telling me.
I got it out. It's on Amazon. I finally got satisfied with all the edits. Amazon Kindle actually wrote me a letter, said, is that enough? Can you please stop re-uploading the book for just one era? But so it's picture perfect, and it's about the laws and why it can't be, this way. But it's all federal stuff. The county stuff is entirely different. The county thing has to do with this, the conversation we're having. Okay,
And
so
so
I just wanted the judge, and I wanted people to understand that I know the difference between a federal case, and I don't have the energy for the federal case. So I took all what I know and my knowledge and put it in a book that's kind of like a how-to for other people down the road. So now I can focus on what in the hell bar is going on with people in RVs. This is like ridiculous.
Right. And so I'm wondering, when I heard you got the notice, one, I'd love to see it if you're willing to show it.
Oh yeah, I got it. It's right on the front thing. And here's the one for the car. They gave me one for the car.
Oh, is that your car as well?
Yeah, the car.
Okay.
Yeah, that was part of the argument with Episcopal Services was repairing the car, and we got approval on that from Jamisha Baker inside the Department of Homelessness to repair it because I need it to go to do medical stuff.
Right.
Can't handle driving this to medical places.
Right.
There's no.
Nor is it really up to it, is it?
Well, it isn't now. At any rate, but here's the tow for this one. Here's the tow notice.
Picture of it if you're okay
Yeah, and
with
then take a picture of the one that's actually on they were so rude. They wanted to know why I wasn't gone like everybody else. And I told them about the hit and run and the family calling the DA in, and then the supervisor he came down to see the accident scene.
Oh, okay.
And then he saw me over and he came over and asked, "Are you the one that wrote all the emails?" I said, "I've only written 2 emails. And the last one was in June." I was quite huffy about it. So here's this one. And the police.
This one is for the car.
This one's for the car, and then this one is. I just left that one on there.
Okay.
Because they like to be obnoxious. So I want to show them that I understand. And then the tires. You can see the tires have been marked.
So I know that this is not your first rodeo, to say the least.
No,
What's your plan? You got 72 hours is tomorrow?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I don't have a lot of choice. You have to do the tires too, because that's how they really tell you that's how they really mark you. Oh. Okay, I can't possibly get a mobile mechanic out here. It will start. Okay, let me start from the beginning. All right, it will start.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you could move it down the block?
I could. It is with a squirt of starter fluid and a hot battery. I have starter fluid and I can get the hot battery, but I'm scared to drive it because the interior has the hole, and I've already had the fridge moved and the other stuff, but I'm scared to, it can be moved down the block to comply with the law, but that's not the deal. It's just I need mentally. I can't go through this much longer.
Right.
Like the standoff feeling of this is
right.
The cop was hostile. He's him and his partner, the homeless patrol cops, and they wanted to know why I didn't get towed over the weekend, with the event. And I was like, well, this friend of the sister of the hit and run victim talked to the DA's office, and they don't like how any of this is either, and it's bordering on elder abuse now that I have hospice starting. If not,
I think if hospice is good for anything, it's this. If you're saying this is a 61-year-old woman staying in her RV, she's in hospice care, that's pretty compelling to try and put.
Right, and I'm that's why I went ahead and signed up for it. I'm not
and you don't
I'm not a lawyer about this. I'm legalistic about
I know
it.
that.
Yeah. But that's not the point. The point is that there is nowhere to go. I just want to get running and all right.
And that's the bigger picture that's been going on for a
because
minute.
if I get them out here, it's embarrassing to hire these mechanics, and it's hard to find a mechanic that will even touch an older vehicle, RV to begin with, or much less out here on the street. And the budget to put it in a garage, look, I try to look at this like this. If I were just a middle-class woman and I appealed to my family, my family can't help me. Okay, he can sit out here and worry about me, and my daughter can come bring me food or whatever, or sit and worry.
So they are attending.
They are attending.
Okay,
they're definitely on the scene.
That.
No, they're definitely on the scene, but they don't know how they can't bring it all the way.
Right.
And my son was digging in the engine and trying to work. He wanted to change this and change that, and I'm like, you don't know wiring. I don't want. We've got it to the point where none of the street mechanics can do this. He's not going to be any better than a street mechanic. And raccoons have eaten the wire, some of the wire. That's just some little parts of it, and that just needs to be run through by a proper. If the value of the vehicle will be about $12,000 to replace it, even in once it's conditioned.
And I know you've been working with the city with problem solving and all that.
No, that's just come to a dead end. That's just not. They brought me back my papers, and the RV's in my name, but he didn't do the SUV. And it's just like molasses has just been poured over it. And I got an email from them saying I still had assistance available, but it was my fault I quit participating. It's not in the slightest bit true.
Do you mind? I am sending this to the pictures.
Yeah.
To another social worker that I work with.
Anybody? I'm good to talk to anybody.
Yeah, she was gonna ask. We're trying to figure out ways to.
Supervisor Marr's office too was very concerned, so you might mention that. You know, and he came out on he was on his way home. It was random the first visit, but the second visit he actually came on his way home. He said to see what news I'd had. Now I haven't told him about the second tow notice because I'm just basically got nothing I can do. Just move the car somewhere it won't be towed and just sit in it and tell the cop to go talk to somebody.
Well, the thing is
how long does that last? I mean, that could end up getting me. I mean, the stress of it.
What's that?
Just sitting in the RV and waiting for him to tow or.
Well, yeah, my understanding. I mean, there's no guarantees, but I was making some calls yesterday. Is that they won't tow if you're in it.
Right. That's what the whole thing's been about. That's why I haven't gone to medical.
Because it's like they won't tow your
Right.
home.
No. This is. They tell me this. They tell each other this. It's ridiculous. Imagine in your home. Okay, you're in your nice wherever you live, and you can't leave your home because when you come back, they're going to have the locks changed.
Right.
You can't get back in.
Yeah, you can't leave it.
Right. So you would not go to medical care. You wouldn't feel too. You'd shop quick or get things delivered. Right.
Right.
So when and the fact it's even mobile and they can steal from it. That's what everyone tells you. Oh, when they get it in the auto return, it's got everything in it's gone.
And this is your life.
Yeah, and it's more than just that. It's just that this is unconstitutional in the most progressive city in America that is a kind place. Because when you talk to the citizens like I'm doing, hard as it is, they want the Supervisor Moore too. He wants to talk to the Park and Rec to get them to open campgrounds. And the second,
that would be a dream.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said they're adamant. So we had a couple of things we talked about the way you do that, which is pretty freaking simple. There's a place in the law that makes this criminal that says the Park and Rec manager can let anybody stay in there he wants. The way you make him, the law needs to be updated. It was first written in 1971 to criminalize RV living. You need to decriminalize it, make it match up to Martin versus Boise, right? Update, tweak that fucker, and make them do it. And yep. I see the symposium tomorrow with the new thing that the homeless department's putting out.
I saw that. Yeah.
I'm thinking about asking him, the general manager in a lawsuit, why aren't you participating? How come you aren't throwing in your, this is all hands on deck, says Joe Biden.
So let me ask you this. Unfortunately, I only have so much time.
I could preach on forever.
And I could listen for a good long while. You will be at the RV all day tomorrow, obviously. Because
I'm real worried about it. Went and got some supplies today, and I was actually thinking about trying to make it downtown in the morning before 10 o'clock to file a piece of paper in court. And if I came back to it, I guess I'd sleep on that lady's futon. These are some real, and this other one is a real strong activist, got all these phone numbers into City Hall and stuff. And
so you're going to move this?
No, this I'm going to move.
Okay.
And then this, I'm just going to stand down, and I don't know how else. I'm going to write there's a 311 with a case, that makes it a case number. So I'm going to write in and talk to 311 and that has its own case number, the little number there. And I'm just going to make a thing about it today, please don't tow me because, and here's my hospice papers. I got a letter from the HOT team saying I've got cancer, and they've been helping me for a year. And
from HOT?
Yeah, they wrote me a letter of Trina.
Okay.
Trina wrote me a letter. I asked her. It just says that they've been helping. That I have breast cancer. I'm getting into hospice. I live in the RV. It doesn't say anything else. Just that I've been being helped for a year.
So that's what I was wondering. Is do you have any paperwork from hospice?
I'll find the signature.
Could I maybe take some pictures?
Sure. Let me get it.
I think maybe if you're comfortable, I'd have to check with. We could put some of that documentation. If we could get them to just get off your back for that reason.
Right.
Who knows, but it's worth a shot. Right?
Well, and also, I'm pretty positive, it's not like that much of, hold on. I'm this vehicle can be repaired and be running. Everyone who's driven it says it's sweet. It doesn't have any transmission problems, linkage. So the investment into the vehicle is worth it, and it keeps me autonomous for as long as I can. I'm going to try not to cry when I say that.
Well, and you know what? With people who have more conventional homes, they get hospice at home.
Well,
when it comes to the end.
Now listen. Here, take the signature page.
Yeah.
He said that if with the Thousand Trails idea, hold on, let me get a steady. With the Thousand Trails idea, get in.
So I know which one it is. Oh, Baba.
Okay, get in. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. They could treat me for they could do me. Did you have anything else?
Okay. They could what?
They could sit like if I were at a different campground, like in the hospice. I mean, Thousand Trails. There's a campground in Russian River.
I know. I remember you telling me about
There's
that.
one in Hollister. Each one's about 80 miles apart. So he was listening to the manager of my team, my dying team, and made me want to sit down just saying that. Okay, so they could send hospice nurses to, like I was explaining, every 21 days. If I were able to get up to the next package instead of just the package I'm at now. One of the things I asked the problem solving to do, and at first they agreed, and then it was switched to the RV part. But anyway, with the 21-day program, they could send a hospice nurse from Santa Rosa to that one in Russian River. They were able to, they'd be able to triage with it as long as I had someone like my own healthcare worker or a family member that could be hands-on for the driving and the other stuff. And I explained how in the not the basic membership I have now, but the next membership, they have like a $29 a week for your family members. They can come and stay with you.
Nice.
Or rent a cab and you get one free week a year. So basically, we're talking, I'm like, it's kind of like a party. When we actually knew I was going to pass, we could just it was the oddest conversation. So he was about that. He was like that. But he was very hands-on with it, like, let's just get you moving right now and get a mechanic out there and see if, right now, just someone out there to look at it and see what, it could just be something simple that would make it drive. And it's in my name, it's insured, and I'm a legal driver.
Okay, good.
I just don't know how to drive this vehicle.
Oh.
I've driven big vehicles. Okay, now you know my truth. Now I've told someone my truth, my hard truth.
Okay.
Now you understand.
All right. So that's
okay. Now, for a certain amount of money, all over the place, you can hire men that specialize in teaching scared widows like me how to drive their husband's RV. There's one in Sacramento I found. There's another one in Stockton. There are people that specialize in this, and every person I've said this to out here who's homeless is perfectly willing to teach me. Apparently it's all about the mirrors. I didn't know mirrors were that important. Every single one of them said, you just drive by the mirror. I'm like, what does that even mean? You drive by the mirror. Watch your mirrors. But that none of that helps me. So, but I've driven big things before. I've pulled trailers before. I was a lot younger. Braver, but
well, and another maybe less stressful thing might be you can also pay some young buck to drive it with you in it to its next destination.
Yeah, well, also if I can do the Thousand Trails thing, I'd be out of the city, and I can't tell you how much braver I am when I'm out of the city for some reason. I know I seem very pugnacious, but when I'm out of here, I'm much more relaxed. Nobody knows me. I'm just,
I don't think of you as pugnacious. I think of you as smart, motivated, maybe a bit on the headstrong, but in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, well, it's been a rough road.
Yeah.
And the lifestyle doesn't let you just be a normal person. Like you have to either, like I've been observing these people with their trash problems and hoarding and so forth, and I've come to the conclusion they're just hostile at society. The reason they're so trashy and so wild in their ways is this: they're really angry there's not a place in society for them. And that's what I was explaining to the ladies out here that were calling me a hero. I don't call it being a hero just going to an accident scene and making people, no, you can't move him. Just stop. That's not being a hero. That's just being a sensible person.
Excuse me, I need to answer.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
Samina? Hey there. What's going on? Yeah, totally. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Right. So there's not going to be a whole lot can do with her. Um, but we can, whether that we is you and Brenda or you and me or some other combination, outreach her in the community where we know she sleeps. Yeah, Maggie. Is that who you were talking about just now? I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, so I'm on La Playa right now. I'm on Lincoln, but I parked on La Playa. I'm seeing Trina and Kim's client. Um, Go ahead. Okay. So, okay. So, what is your plan for the morning? Are you going to join Brenda at the Riv, or? Mhm. Okay. 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 Straight. Okay. Maybe she jetted for a minute. So, okay. Well, we can go by there whenever it's convenient, and check the room to A, see if she's in there, and B, check the state of it. I mean, if she jetted for a minute, that's fine, as long as the room is like not any like major hazard. Then there's nothing to be done. So why don't we? I'm out here, and then I'll be going back to 50. If at any point it feels like the right time for us to either meet down there or go down there together, that works out. If you're planning to try to outreach Maggie out here anytime soon, I'm conveniently out here, but that can also wait. So everything is totally flexible ultimately. Okay, perfect. I'm over on Lincoln and at the Great Highway, and so if you guys are heading out this way, I'll just hang in the area. Yes, I am. I'm with her right now. Okay. Um, Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I'm not even sure who that was in the background. It was another hot worker, and they said, "Oh, are you seeing Ramona?" Yay!
My doctor wrote on my medical transfer papers that I'm a 61-year-old pleasant woman, and I thought, now that is utterly the best thing to say about someone is like me.
I think you're pleasant.
Well, yeah, because you don't want people to not like, you want people to
You are
listen.
pleasant. You know, that's the whole thing with women, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're unpleasant if we have opinions.
Well, no, but some people I've known some very angry women out here, and in general, and you don't even want to be around
Well,
them.
that's true also. I'm sorry.
Chip on the. No, go ahead. Do what you got to do. Business.
Hey, JJ. All right, let's hear it. Mm-hmm. I don't. They're not placing anybody in the living room, are they? All right. All right. I'll poke Mark and see if there's anything in that possibility of magic. Would they do the good? That's the one they're putting people in now. Right. So the tricky part is those people are supposed to be coming from the Tenderloin. Let me shoot. Well, you know what? They don't even have to be in the Tenderloin. Get them to linkage. Um, and what they should do. See, the thing is the way you get that connect is you show up at linkage and you say you need shelter, and then there's and right, and then the first number of that I get the good. Let me feel Mark out because I know it's not easy for either of them to transport, so I would hate to schlep them over there. Um, I'll text Mark and find out even what they got today. Um, okay. Yeah, I mean, he's got he's holding the line until these are supposed to go from the Tenderloin. So I'm debating whether I should even tell him or whether the client should just show up at linkage. Now that I'm leaving, huh? But anybody can go to linkage. Okay. Would like get him in a cab to linkage or something. So what if I said to Mark, I heard you got 5 beds today. JJ is sending 2 clients to linkage and just ignore the other stuff. Yeah, I don't think there is, but that'll be our second line of yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Bye. What? Yeah, I'm gonna text him because I'm actually out seeing a client right now. Okay. All right. Bye.
You sound like an airfield marshal.
Do I?
I mean, if there was ever a warlike sound, that was it.
That's
Moving
funny.
in the troops. Sound like something on a BBC documentary for World War
Hilarious.
II.
Well, it's kind of like that, though, isn't it?
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that. It's a pity you don't have more places to stage your battles from.
Right. And I guess I should let you know, I'm gonna be leaving Hot in a few weeks, but
Yeah.
I'm still gonna be out here. I'm moving over to the street medicine team.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah, Hot's already in public health. They're not in Department of Homelessness. It took me a minute to figure that out.
No, they're still in Department of Homelessness.
Oh, they're not?
Yeah.
I thought they were part of public health.
They used to be.
Confusing.
But then when Ed Lee opened the Department of Homelessness, they moved it.
Oh,
and
okay.
so that's where I am now, but now I'm going to be moving to public health.
I talked to the people that came out when I told the cops that I would, if they took my RV, if they tow it this week, I'll just go in front of City Hall, terminally dehydrate. I'm getting really tired of saying that. So he immediately took it wrong. Now, unfortunately, the hospice worker was there present for all this too. So she's getting a first eye view of just how intense it is out here. And so he takes it as a suicide threat. It's not a suicide threat, as I told the adult protective worker, if I'm doing something in protest of something that happens to me, right? Suicide if you're doing it because you don't want to live anymore. But if you're doing it because you're in protest, that's a First Amendment. So he sends out the...
Suicide-free speech?
No, suicide, terminal dehydration and suicide are two different
Okay.
things. In terms of the church, too. I've been looking it up. But especially when you have cancer and hospice and everything, it takes a whole new death with dignity angle to it, don't you think?
Yeah.
Right? Take my home from me where I can't die in peace with my husband's ashes and our photos and stuff. And
Right.
how much is, I mean, what is the protest and what is the suicide? So,
Right.
but the cop took it as a direct threat of me hurting myself. So he called out at the end of, she had this hospice worker at the beginning had the police. At the end, she had the crisis hot team out here. Such nice people. They were so
Oh,
nice.
skirt team?
Yeah, they
Okay,
were just
good.
really nice.
Good,
Like,
good,
but she
good.
was very, she was quite upset that I was having that much official interaction. You kind of get used to it after a while. It's one end or the other, a crazy person from the street or the street team trying to deal with the crazy people. I'm just like, none of either are here. I have nothing for any of you.
So, okay. So, I mean, sometimes I visualize things and I see consumption. So, the immediate thing, the center circle is keeping the RV from being towed.
Right.
And then continuing to try to get it roadworthy. There's the question of hospice and your medical care, and then there's ideally your ultimate departure.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, when you say departure, do we mean death or do
No,
we
I
mean
do not mean
thousand
death.
trails?
I do not mean death. I mean
How grand a death am I going to get out here with all this hero worship I've got going? I got up the day before yesterday to a red rose under my windshield wiper.
No, that's hilarious. No,
No, no.
not that ultimate departure.
Okay, that was, I couldn't help but say that.
Yep,
You
very funny.
set yourself up for that one.
Yeah, I walked right into it. So what I would imagine that you have some contact with the Coalition on Homelessness too.
A bit.
Okay, good. Do they know this is happening?
No, I'm kind of a lone wolf. I haven't really just, if I decide to turn it into a big event, the ladies that were talking to me, they want to bring people out to vigil, and they sing even that night that they were going to have the event, and they were going to tow me.
Uh-huh.
The sister of the man that got the hit and run, they were going to bring a bunch of people to vigil and sing. Yeah, that's nice.
No, they're not a couple. No, they're not from the TL, but they're very. I know. That's why I was being vague. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So you would go that far, transport them south of Market, and let them get there on their own? Okay. Okay. All right. Um. Right. So what if she tells her guy, well, I can't get you there or anything, but you may be able to get some support if you go to Linkage and the Tenderloin and you get there on the go? Okay. Right. No, I gotcha. I get it. I get it. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
I'll tell you really quick
Yes.
what you need to do.
Uh-huh.
So simple. Okay. Motivation for these people in the Tenderloin and everywhere. Get them an RV. Make them work for it. If they stay clean, out of jail, and in the RV, and without massive amounts of mess, they get to own it at the end of X number of months.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can leave. And if you would just give these people that, I'm just telling you, because that's what I tell everybody. You motivate these people, they go crazy. It wouldn't take, and you could still have the same support system and the same everything, but just house people in the RVs and let them earn their way out of it. Because there is that work ethic. It's very important. It's very important, and there's no jobs out here for people. There needs to be real hardcore focus on how are these people surviving. And if you centralize them, not necessarily in Golden Gate Park, but there's a parking lot somewhere besides Candlestick. If one more person says to me, Gordon Moore said it twice in both visits, you won't go to Candlestick, Not allowed to use the propane bottle out there. I can barely stay warm as it is. And there's a ton of environmental issues out there in that rock. I'm already sick, and I'm not,
Yeah,
you know.
I know that.
So I'm not going there.
So
So he was all about how he wanted to open another park out here. Yeah, you know.
it
So
would. I mean, it makes the most sense. It's the best use of land.
yeah, and there's a lot of RVs and people out here
There
could
are.
benefit from it, and just to be allowed a place in society would give people a real step up.
Sure would.
Because everyone has gone from here, just a heads up, over there in front of those very expensive condominiums, and they are furious.
Okay.
They are.
It goes on and on.
And so the police over there are saying, you're fine, and the police over here are saying, we're going to tow you immediately if you don't get out of here. But they're all over there, even more obvious in front of, and being told it's okay to, by the police and the parking people, just stick around. And I'm like, don't you realize there's going to be a massive 3 a.m. snatch you all up at one time tow? No, the police said that we could stay. Are you serious? Are you seriously believing this? I mean, you people know better than to believe the police. You can't tell them nothing. So they'll all be in tarps here in another week.
Right. It just it goes and it goes.
Yeah.
So here's so I've been texting with that social worker who is kind of connected to that end, and you know, she said when there's somebody staying in the RV, MTA passes it to the police. And I said, well, what will the police do? And I know you know this, but
Yeah.
she said it would likely be a bunch of requests for her to vacate, probably over time, which they've already been doing.
Right.
But they would tell her she's going to be arrested if she doesn't vacate.
Okay.
I doubt they get arrested. And you,
Hold on, I can't
she
hear.
says that the one thing is
My hearing, just 1 second that goes by. Because I didn't catch that last part. Okay, I heard the arrest part. Did I didn't hear the rest?
like so they would tell you they're going to arrest you, and then she says it would escalate to the crisis team if they were on site and were set on having time for her to leave, and she was barricading in, and they thought it was because of your mental health status. So you don't want to do that.
Okay,
You don't want it to get a thing where they come in and they think you're barricading. And you're at risk of.
Okay.
So just like I live here, I'm not moving. Oh look, this is my hospice paperwork. I'm working with the city, and I can see if I can get anyone, if you want me to listen to the fact that you are a woman with cancer.
If you would,
Okay.
and I am hopeful that Sutter will, but I can't pull it together by tomorrow. Like I literally have to find someone who'll come out here for just 500 and get me started, and then after that I don't know what happens. You know.
So
yeah.
that brings me to my next concentric circle because
Okay, yeah, no, I like that. No, I like how to know how people feel, and I'm the same way. I have grids though. Mine are grids.
Yours are grids.
Snakes and ladders, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because grid you can climb up from that, but a lot of times snakes you got to watch for the snakes.
Very
Right, you know, yeah. So you kind of watch for both, and it gives you a little edge on what's coming. But it can also make you paranoid.
Yeah.
You have to watch for the paranoia, especially when they give you huge amounts of death-causing drugs. I can't get over it. I'm sorry. I've spent so much time in the world. I just can't understand someone just saying, here, go to the pharmacy. And when the pharmacist handed it to me, the look on the pharmacist's face was what got me thinking about it. I'm going to read every one of these little pamphlets. Every one of them says they can cause respiratory, except the stuff for constipation. It was the only one that I'd had to consider using. I'm going to be leaving all of those unopened. So the next when I get my real hospice team, I'm going to show them, see, I'm not a druggie. I've been sitting around with enough morphine to kill an elephant or two and haven't touched it.
So that brings me back around to my other circle, the morphine.
That's terrible.
So you think your doctor wants to get rid of you?
Well, no, not like that, though.
Not like that. No. Wow, I'm walking into every word thing, aren't I? Wants to drop you as a patient.
Yes, there you go, English. Perfect English. Yeah, we want to say that right.
And you'll feel comfortable with this hospice. Now, I know.
No, it's intense. I just feel like no, this is what it is.
It's like they're pushing you towards the exit.
Yeah, and plus it's some kind of druggy police. I can see it. Anytime you get handed that much medicine, and then they're coming once a week or more, and they've already dropped in on me twice. Right. And I'm just like, I'm not there. Like, I'm not ready for this much invasion of privacy. I'm already having enough trouble just keeping
So here's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. You've met already in the past our nurse practitioner, Leah Warner.
I think so. I have really hit it off really well with one street
Her
medicine lady.
and Kristen.
Kristen, I have the card for. I'm pretty sure they're the ones that told me not. I remember apologizing for being on a hunger strike, and they were appalled. And one of those two ladies said to me, "If you were a man, you would never apologize for this." And I was like, "Wow, that's so true." A woman on a hunger strike is going, "I'm sorry for being a bother and making everyone worry, but I'm having my housing rights." Whereas a man would just be like, "Hey, I'm getting my." I was like, "Oh, that was perfect."
This is what I'm thinking, and that's what, so Leah's like that, that's her sensibility. Kristen's like that. And we've got many, but we've got two other women, a doctor, Dr. Tanya Mahunder, and a social worker, Melanie Bien, who are part of street medicine, but are also doing their own street medicine-based palliative care.
Okay.
Except they're doing it the street medicine way. What does our person want, and how can we support them?
Yeah, because I don't feel like handing me that much medicine. My son sat outside all night in the cold and slept in his car. For why?
Yeah.
Well, how are you going to stop me from an OD if you're in your car? You're just sitting out there processing your dad's death and my future death. I don't need that energy for anybody.
So
I don't want to tell you about it. That's depressing for you. Ugh.
So my thought is this: it's an outer circle. The immediate circle is your vehicle. Is that if we changed your Medi-Cal, you could be fully availed.
That's what I had already decided today, that I was going to not fire them, but just put them on hold.
Don't say anything to them until you get everything.
Yeah, and then just switch over to like UCSF or some other. They're not the only game in town, and I just was really there was some other stuff that I was just really uncomfortable with, and
if you're and then that way you get any treatment there, and the street medicine team can follow you, including the palliative care team, which is only what you want it to be.
Yeah, because the case manager, one of the gentlemen I spoke to, he literally said at some point he wanted to know which family member was going to be in charge of the final decision of putting me in a facility. And I just don't think you need to be saying that to someone who's fighting tooth and nail for an RV right now. I don't need to hear that facility business just yet. That's not to say it won't happen, but at the same time, why put it in my head? I'm just not there yet. I'm not. And I'm not comfortable with it. I don't know. It made me uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But I'm just pretty uncomfortable right now. So there's that too. Like I feel threatened from every, angle. So I'm making sure I'm sorting out I write a lot in my journals. So I try to sort out, are you really feeling this? Is this really happening? Or is this just your general privacy? Because I'm just a really private person. Like I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have friends to, cha-cha-cha and gossip with. I'm not that kind of person. If I need you, I need you. But other than that, I'm on my own pretty much.
So what I'm thinking is, if you're comfortable with it, signing a couple of releases. I'm just wondering whether I could push the hospice paperwork around to say you can't.
Let's.
I don't know if it will go anywhere.
No,
but
anything we can do to accent how advanced this has become for me, and not. I don't feel like they're going to haul me out the RV. Okay, and I'm going to make sure I don't have. And I hit it off really well with the street skirt team that would be called. So. Good. And I don't. I also have the adult protective service worker, Sarah Bunting. She's, she gave me her cell number to call her if it comes down. She made me clarify that I didn't feel suicidal. I felt my back is against the wall, and my reaction will be not to hurt myself at the moment, but that I would go in front of City Hall and make a protest of it. But that's it. And then these ladies over here want to offer me their home to come stay at, and that's really
which is wonderful that that's there, but I know
that's not. That's wonderful, but at the same time, that's the sweetness of humanity right there. You're just looking at true, sweet, kindness. That's not a solution for me.
So I'm doing.
So as far as I'm concerned, I'm still exactly at the same place I was when we first met November 5th.
I know.
Like I don't feel any different. I don't feel any more adamant. I haven't done anything. I haven't gone back to court. I haven't told it. Well, the only reason I talked to the DA people was because of the hit and run victim's family was adamant that I talk to them, and she was super nice. She gave me her number, and I haven't told her about the new tow thing because I don't really. can I say I'm just not taking it very seriously because I think it's a threat to all. Made everyone that was parked on the side street do it. I'm probably wrong because generally when you don't take things seriously, that's when you need to be taking them seriously. But at the same time, I'm just really damn tired. Like I'm tired. I'm so tired of this. If I were in the Deep South and I went to the biggest Baptist church and I said, "Sir, could you please help me? My husband died and I'm having trouble getting this repaired and switch it in my name. Could the church help me?" And I just sit here for a minute while there'd be a swarm of volunteer mechanics and old ladies bringing me casseroles and cakes, and they put some gas in there, some cash in my hand, and I'd be gone by the next day or the day after. And I've actually had that happen before, so I know what I'm talking about, and I've known lots of people who would. This is just a particular brand of gypsy hate. It comes from the hippies. The hippies did it. Imagine it was pretty frightening down here when they made that law in 1971. Entire park, they had no rules that you could sleep in the park. 100,000 on the beach, and that's 100,000 school buses, not people. I don't know how. No, they never really did know exactly how many people, but there were 100,000 school buses in this neighborhood. Could you even imagine what that looked like? I bet they were out there trying to shoot at them and stuff, vermin, catching them like rats. And I've talked to people who were there, and they'd say you kept your goods on you everywhere because you'd come home and your bus would be gone, or they were towing them just nothing, just like boom. We had our bus taken, so I know what it feels like.
So what should we? So I made two, one for SFMTA and one for SFPD, but we want to really focus the scope of it.
Right on.
So what do we say? Health and personal information related to.
Sounds good.
Vehicle.
All right. Vehicle dweller. Vehicle dweller and going into hospice.
Okay. So,
with breast cancer.
So
Make it
well, this is just what the release covers. That way
what
you're
it covers.
not giving me a blanket release to kill the cops. Anything?
Okay. We want them to know my health issues and my repair status.
Okay.
With the Department of Homelessness.
Okay.
Yeah, we want them to be able. That's perfect. Yeah, that would be awesome. I didn't know what we were even talking about. I just started doing that. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so purposes. Risk RV dwelling.
Let me grab my phone so I can take a picture too. Oh. And I can also give you the emails of the two officers that are doing this. And I think if you wrote them and showed them that might have a good effect, because it's these two homeless patrol officers for this region here. So.
What's your birthday, Lenore?
9/1/1960.
So there's two of them.
Okay, and at the bottom, I'm just going to write the email on the SFPD one.
Maybe put it on the back. Okay. That way
it won't mess up
the document.
Right, and this way I'll just give you the homeless patrol guys here, and I think it would impress them if they got somebody just flat told them, she's at. I don't think they believe me, to be honest. Well, they hear a lot, I'm sure.
So my social work colleague said also, you might try showing them your hospice paperwork tomorrow.
I'll have it all. I'm going to have extra copy for just to give them a folder. Hey Merlin, this is the hot team lady. That's my son Merlin.
Oh hey, how you doing?
We're discussing how to keep that. See the notice on the front of the truck? Yeah. She's going to email the police here and after I sign this. Yeah, she's just about to go.
Yeah, I'm about ready.
Okay, it's all good.
1 minute and she'll be gone.
I'm gonna be back.
Wait, don't go. I'm almost done here. Okay. Five
really
minutes.
on my way.
She really is good.
Oh, that's nice that your kids are out here.
Yeah, he doesn't like that medicine at all.
But it's locked away, right?
Oh.
I mean,
No,
more than anything,
it's gone.
anybody out here.
No, I would never. No, I would never even tell them. Are you? No, I would never. I've got enough trouble as a woman alone, and I've got plenty of armament, like knives and axes and stuff like that in there. But no, I don't like anyone knowing. It's exactly what he thinks, too.
Yeah.
So I'm not even. No, I wouldn't even. And it makes me wonder too now about the way that some people cluster around other sick homeless people. I've noticed that. It makes me wonder a lot of stuff. Of course, I'm that way. I'm just a, I'm just kind of all of this here. Okay, so I'll.
Do you have a phone?
Yes, I do. 415.
What I do with my pen? Oh, you got it.
Yes, pen thief. There we go.
And you have Trina and Kim's numbers.
Yes, I do. 415 595 6308.
So yeah, definitely stay close to home tomorrow.
Oh, I
I'll
am.
see what, if anything, I can push around.
Please, yeah. Just if you get anything at all, just send me a text and
Okay.
that I can show them. That's mostly. I have one from the DA, but I'm not contacting any of those people. I don't or Garden more because I don't think this is their.
Yeah.
This is not them. This is something else. This is not the event. This is the ongoing case.
Yes, yes it is. Well, it was wonderful to see you again.
Great. It was nice to see you too.
And I will see you again.
All right.
Okay.
Right on.
And then-
Cool.
Well,
I'm gonna
give
go.
a heads up that you're considering the Medi-Cal thing to the.
I will. No, I'm
the
definitely going to do something like that because it's really something I need to do now. The doctors abandoned me.
Yeah.
Roughly too, I'd say.
Strangely.
Strangely. That's the word.
Yeah,
Thank you for
yeah.
coming by though. I appreciate it.
You're
Yeah, so if
welcome.
you get any kind of response from the police, just like send me a text or something.
Okay.
And that way
Will
I can
do.
show them. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it, Carol. You want to come in a minute? Huh?